Eurozone finance chiefs have once again pushed back the final decision over the release of further bailout funds for cash-strapped Greece, so this time until November. That was after Athens announced it would be unable to meet its debt containment targets. Greece desperately needs the next tranche of €8 billion to pay its everyday bills. If the money doesn't arrive by mid-October, the country won't be able to pay its debts and may have to declare bankruptcy. And that's in spite of government efforts to adhere to tough EU and IMF demands by bringing in highly unpopular austerity measures. For weeks, the country has been hit by angry public protests and strikes. Our correspondent, RT's Sarah Firth, has more from the Greek capital.
Well, it's been here on Syntagma Square that the more dramatic side of this economic crisis in Greece has been played out, as time and again we've seen people turning up outside the Parliament building to protest against the severe austerity measures that they say are simply untenable. We find ourselves back in a position where people now are really asking just what has been achieved by implementing these austerity measures. The Greek government has just admitted that it won't be able to meet its tough deficit reduction targets. That sent fear throughout the whole Eurozone really about what the implications of that will be. The Greek government have also approved a measure to put 30,000 civil servants on reserve. That'll mean a reduction in their salary for a year, and there'll be, at the end of the year, the possibility of dismissal. Now, there are great concerns that Greece won't even get that next cash injection, the €8 billion needed if the country's to stay afloat. The Troika audit team here in the country at the moment trying to hammer out the details of that. Now, it has to be said that at this stage it would be unusual for Greece not to get that money, because the effects of that would be felt almost immediately. What's bad for Greece at this point is also bad for the rest of the Eurozone countries and indeed the global economy. The fears is that this would have a severe knock-on effect. People are really asking now whether the Eurozone leaders are going to be able to come up with realistic solutions to get the country out of this situation. There has been criticism from some of the analysts we've spoken to here in Athens. They've said that we've seen these job losses, we've seen the cuts in wages and in pensions. These are people who will no longer be able to pay taxes, people who are struggling to pay the taxes, and yet the government still seem to be set on this tax-based solution to plug that big deficit in the budget. So there are concerns really about the practicalities of any of these measures having any effect. Lots of talk about the possibility of Greek defaulting, and as we said, still a lot of public anger at the people here who feel that their lives are being put in a situation that is simply untenable, that they can't live with. Big concerns really about whether Eurozone leaders are going to be able to pull the country out of this situation.